Boom, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Celeste, Sarah.
Hello.
Hello.
Turn up.
Shelly. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It's happening.
It's totally happening.
Allie. Oh, this is exciting. Kiki. Everyone, please be beautiful and patient as we slowly allow everyone into the room. Thank you for showing up.
Hello, Luke.
Hi, Shelly. Haven't seen or heard your voice in a minute.
I know. And I got out of the pool, so I don't look very good. So I'll let you look. I'll say hi with it on for a second. And then I'll turn it back off. It's not coming on though. Why is it not coming on?
You told the universe you didn't want to be seen. You're like, I don't look good right now.
Probably
Now the
why.
universe is like, well, we're not going to let you look that way.
Mute, start video. Do I do start video?
Yes.
Oh, I did.
Oh, hi, Shelly. You look great. Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Can anyone believe that she has a daughter in college? I can't.
Nope.
I have a 27-year-old daughter now.
Oh wow.
My good. Oh, it's crazy. Shelly, you look good.
Can you guys see me, Lucas? I can't see
Yes,
myself.
Celeste, I can see you.
Okay, now I can't even see myself. Okay, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's okay. I have your PowerPoint ready to go. We're good.
Okay.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Lee. Good to see you. Hello, Susan, Allie. Hi. And you guys don't have to leave your videos on. It's totally up to you. There's no pressure to like leave your video on. I was gonna wait like a minute or two. There were 23 people registered for the event. So we're at 8. But
Yeah,
we'll definitely start here in like a minute or so. How did everyone find my event? I think I talked to Sarah and Lee and Shelly and Allie. Susan, did you find it through one of my videos online?
Probably my share.
Cool. Let's see the
Type
chat.
in the chat how you found it.
Magnet to Lucas.
Yeah, what was your magnet to Lucas?
My magnet.
I think I saw your face on a Zoom and instantly was like, who was that guy? Who is that guy? I needed to know.
Who's that person over there? Y'all are so sweet. Well, I think we should go ahead and get started. It's 6:03, and so I can always replay this to somebody else. So thank you everybody for coming today to Ascension Accelerators, the Healy world. My name is Lukez. Many of you have probably seen me on my TikToks or Instagram, Remastering Your Life. I'm a holistic life coach and Reiki master practitioner. There's Pooja. And I started looking into this device because I really believe in the power of frequency healing. About 6 months ago, it popped up on my radar, and I have other devices. I have sound bowls. I have a mat that gives different frequencies out for alpha waves and beta waves and delta waves. So this was right up my alley. And I had just tried it, I think twice with Kiki, and then once with a woman named Allison through Zoom. And when we were doing it through Zoom, I was like, this seems like really powerful. And it's not even around me. It's like through the screen. And they start talking about like the quantum technology and how it's scanning the energetic field and how it's all connected. And after my first live Zoom event like this, which I think, who was hosting that one? It was Kiki or Celeste, or was it Anna? I don't remember. There was some sort of event where it was just like this, and I was like, I'm buying a Healy. And I've had mine now for 9 days. This is day 9. And I didn't really set an intention with my Healy. So when I got it, I didn't like decide I'm going to meditate more. I'm going to eat healthier this week. I'm going to go to the gym more. I specifically was like, don't do anything you don't normally do and just run the frequencies and see what happens. And most of y'all would not know this, but I'm a very troubled sleeper. I'm like a 5-hour sleeper and I'm done. I have slept 7.5 to 9 hours every single night since the first night. And I'm not even running the sleep protocol. Like there is a sleep protocol. They have one for sleep and I ran it one time. But I think just the balancing of my energy has made me sleep better at night. The other day, again, I'm listing out things I wasn't expecting because there's no intention. I went to mow my yard on day 4, day 5, and normally for the next 2 hours after I mow my yard, I'm stopped up, I'm in the shower, I'm like inhaling steam as fast as I can to clear out my allergies. That didn't happen. I've not had any congestion in the morning since also day 2. Like every single morning, there's no congestion. And again, I'm not even running the allergy programs. I'm just running the gold program, which is what they tell you to do in the beginning for 21 days. And then I'm energetically sensitive. So they have one called sensitivity, which I run every single day towards the end of the day. And then the other, this is kind of it's a gain, but it also kind of sucks at the same time. I was telling Celeste about this. When I got my Healy on day 1, I drink alcohol twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. Well, on day 5, it was our day to go drink alcohol. And I had my shot. And all of a sudden I was like, why do I feel like really tipsy right now? And I had a second shot. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of overwhelmed right now. And I called Celeste and Kiki the next day and I was like, I don't think I can drink as much alcohol as I used to. Like my body's running so clean. It was like rejecting negative downward spiral energy. So it's just kind of crazy. And so my future goal with Healy is to discover more about the protocols of the programs. There's a whole printout I had that's like 40 pages long about how you can combine programs for treatment and what they're all used for. But that's just my personal opening up for this. I'm going to pass the mic on to Celeste, and she's going to talk a little bit about the background of Healy. And if I understand the tree correctly, like I bought my Healy from Kiki, and I think Kiki got it from Celeste. Is that correct? Or is that because I found
Close.
Kiki through business school?
Well, it's kind of like a big tree. Like the tree kind of, the roots are growing. And so even Kiki's not even directly from me. I think there's even a few people removed, but it's like we're all in just this big root system, and anybody that's just magnetized to each other, we all just are like in this and loving it. And I got to tell everybody something's up with my technology. So it's really, I can't even see myself. So please let me know if something starts growing on the top of my head. And I'm also going to try and do a presentation without being able to see it. So just let me know and bear with me. My name is Celeste Pennington. I got introduced to Healy last summer, end of July. Yes, it is a direct marketing company. And when someone called me about it, I was a hell no, not going to happen again. But when I found out what the product was, being frequency medicine, well, I have a personal mission to raise the frequency of this planet and to raise our consciousness. And I really felt like I couldn't say no. So I took a heck yes. It just completely felt right. And I have jumped in, and it has been a year. And I can tell you who I am today is not who I was a year ago. I am truly regenerating my cells at a cellular level from the inside out. And people that I meet today are always talking about how you're glowing, you don't look the same. And there are people that have known me before, and and I know Healy is a big part of that, let alone all the extra things that Healy does when it comes to coaching, when it comes to us achieving our goals and unlocking our full potential. So I just love this device. I love the community. There's so much to share. I'm just going to hit a little bit on Healy itself. It's been around for 4 years. It's still opening up in countries. We've still got it. It's US, it's only been 2 years. Canada, it was just last summer. It just opened in Mexico. It just opened in Japan. Kiki, if you want to scroll down to the atoms and the cells. Yeah. So let's go this one. Yeah. So as we know, we are all vibrating beings. Every single thing on this earth is vibrating, even the things that look dense and that are hard, right? So our tissues, our cells, their molecules, their atoms, their subatomic particles, and then we are energy, frequency, and information. And so everything, including our physical bodies, to our thoughts, are all a vibration, and they all reside on a frequency. That is what I have now learned. So the Healy device itself, which is proprietary to Healy, can actually scan your bioenergetic field and let you know what is not in resonance, what it is that your body needs support in. And then what you do is then you can go to the programs that it recommends and then take those programs, implement the programs, and put yourself back into coherence. The cool thing with this is that the analysis will even come up with, it will even read things that isn't even in your awareness. You might come to that and be like, but I've got a physical pain here. Why is it not reading my physical pain here? And a lot of times it's because this analysis is actually reading things that are probably even bigger happening within your body that needs to be addressed before the other. And sometimes too, we know that when pain comes within our physical bodies, a lot of times it can be an energetic block or something else that's actually needs to be dealt with. And so this Healy device has 10.1 million frequencies, and they're all built in within different programs. And so depending on what your needs are, there is a program for absolutely anything. If we're going to be looking at the physical body, the mental, the emotional, any organ in your body, absolutely any organ in your body. So the kidneys and the liver, we can share even about our trip to Portugal. Kiki and I just got back, and it was a mind-blowing experience. And we really learned about our organs and how important it is to be looking after our organs, and how our consciousness is also living in those organs. And if we're wanting to unlock our true potential, it's looking after the cells of each of those organs. And so I've even come back from this looking after and running the Pure program, which is for kidneys and liver. And basically realizing how important our physical vessel is, because I've spent so much time up in my mental and emotional. But there truly is a program for anything and everything you want. So then I will share a little bit about Marcus. Marcus is the inventor of Healy. He was a quantum physicist, I believe, at like even 16. He is someone that people that have met him actually wonder if he's from another dimension or he's a time traveler, because he does not seem of this world. And he is still very much involved in Healy. He was just at the convention in Florida 2 months ago. And so many of these stories come from the people that just met him on our team. And so he became a quantum physicist. He realized what all these frequencies did, and he wanted to test this technology with spirituality. So he became a monk for 12 years to then take this technology and test it. So he has bridged science and spirituality. And the cool thing about him is, so not only that we're getting someone that we think has maybe come from the future and come back to bring us this technology, which I believe is led with heart. He's truly doing this, I feel, from completely the right reasons. And he came up with time waiver. And time waiver is like, say there was actually something specific that you were even wanting to address in your life. There's a couple of different doctors within Healy that we can go to, and they will make you specific programs to address that issue. And so that's what time waiver does, is grabbing each of the frequencies that you know you can have to address what it is that you're looking for. And so he had his devices time waiver in the UK for about, I think a decade even. So what would happen is you would go get your treatment every few weeks. But what he wanted to do, instead of us waiting to go get treatments, which many people have done every couple weeks, he goes, what if I could empower everyone in their own homes and we could all look after this ourselves? And so what we are getting right now is truly the cream of the crop, microcurrent, cellular regeneration on all the levels, accessible in our homes to empower our health, our families, our dogs, our plants, you name it. So that's Marcus. And if you want any more videos on him, we've got lots. He talks quite long and differently. So we're really trying to give you the Coles notes here. Christian Helper is the investor behind Healy and is a conscious investor. And he was at the convention as well. And you would have thought that he would have got up and he did a presentation, and you would have thought he would have got up and talked about the economy and where the world is at right now, but instead he did a presentation on the the science behind synchronicities, which I also want to say it is not a coincidence that anybody that signed up for this webinar right now, there's a reason why you are here. There's a reason why you felt called. Everything that is happening in our life, nothing is a coincidence. And so he talked about the science behind that. And then he talked about how Healy is written in the stars going in, is it the Aquarian era that we're going into?
Yes,
and how it is written in the stars that Healy has come at this point in time for humanity to help level us all up when it comes to wherever we happen to be in our journey, the support and what we need. Healy is here to help us do that. And so I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Why Healy? Why now? Well, you can close it off if you want, Kiki. I truly feel that we're kind of in this little middle ground right now with Healy, in that it's still so the beginning. So we're all figuring this out together. And there's a lot at our fingertips, a lot of resources at our fingertips. And a lot of people are like, but I want it all. But that's also the beauty, that we don't have it all, because it means we're still so at the beginning of what we're all embarking on together. And I believe that Healy will be in every single household. I believe this will be mainstream. I think that this will turn into a norm. I know that down the road, this will be people just going, oh, you have one, I have one. It will be like how we didn't understand what Spotify was when Spotify came into effect, and we all just, what is that thing? Well, now it's in every household. I truly feel that that will be Healy. So anyways, I will stop there. There's a lot more information I can share, but I also love questions and answers. So if anyone had any questions, hold on or put them in the chat, and we can let you know the rest. Give it over to my girl Kiki, or back to you, Lukez.
I mean, I honestly just wanted to make a few comments when you were talking, because, you know, we were talking about just the openness that's kind of happened over the last several years. And like after everything happened with the pandemic of us all being like shoved into a box, we all did so much self-exploration during that time, that it's like the openness and the awareness for energy work and for sound healing and stuff that's in this niche, we'll call it a niche, it's just become more common tongue. And that's why I was telling Celeste, I was like, someday it's going to be, do you have an air fryer? Yes. Do you have a frequency device? Yes. It's just going to be a thing, because I feel like it's frequency and just sound is everything. And one of my videos I released this week was like, do you get moved by movies? When you're watching a movie and the music comes up, are you moved by movies? And if you are, or music in general, then this is the exact same thing. It's using frequency, tested for like Dr. Nakamura, is that his name? He like spent like 10 or 15 years developing the gold frequencies. So there's just, I'm just blown away. I'm ready for the world to be healed through sound technology. But yes, Kiki, please tell us all your things.
Me too. So yeah, I do find that I'm Kiki. So maybe I'll just tell you a little bit about myself first. I'm an intuitive psychic, Reiki therapist, massage therapist by trade, and online coach, spiritual coach. Chakras are my obsession. And I really don't do anything in life through analytics or I want to say critical thinking, but that's not what I'm getting at. I don't use strategy. I use more like my intuition and follow my bliss and stuff, and universal synchronicity. So I'm always really tapped into that kind of stuff. So 6 years, my journey with Healy actually started 6 years ago, before 5 years before I even became a part of the company. And that's because I went to go see a psychic intuitive who was reading my energy. And she said, there's this technology that's coming up that you're going to be working with. And I'm like, no. Like, I don't do technology. And she's like, yeah, no, you're doing technology. This is a very big thing that's happening for human, like for mankind. And she says it's going to be a frequency device that's going to heal the world through frequencies, and it's going to be a really big part of the restoration program after a lot of the systems as we know it crumble. And so I thought, okay, well, that sounds really big. And she goes, yeah, it is really big. And so then I just kind of kept that in the back of my mind, like a Tic Tac size comment. And she said, keep a lookout for the words scalar or Skylar. So I thought, okay. And then one day I was looking at some pictures, I think, and I saw this Harbor House yoga. So I was manifesting going there. The next thing that happens, this girl messaged me on Instagram, and she goes, I'm going to Harbor House yoga tomorrow night. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally manifesting that. My girlfriend comes over for Reiki that day, and she's going to Harbor House yoga. So we carpool together, and we get there, and I just felt like I felt like I knew every single person in the room, and there was already a frequency, and they were all playing their Healys. Little did I know, I thought I was signing up for a sound bath. So I just felt the frequencies. They felt so nourishing, and so there was like a cohesiveness throughout the room. And so then Anna did her presentation just like this and dropped the word scalar waves. And so there was like an electrical shock that went just all the way through my body. And I had remembered that trigger word scalar. And so I immediately messaged my psychic, and I said, like, hey, this thing came across my desk. Do you remember even like 6 years ago that you were telling me that I was going to work with this technology? And she goes, yeah. I said, so do I buy it? And she goes, yep. So I bought it, and I've never, ever, ever looked back. I mean, this technology is phenomenal. I have the Healy, the personal device, and I also have the Meg Healy, which is for atmosphere. You can charge your water. You can, structure the molecular structure of your water, clean it, charge it for heart frequencies, mental clarity. You can use it with your animals. You can use it with your plants. There's lots of atmospheric programs. There's lots of body programs. So for me, I didn't get the Healy because of the physical support that it has. I'm just a very healthy person. So for me, physically, not so much. But what I really noticed it with is for quantum leaping. And if you've got manifestations, this device will just get the blockages out. And it's not like it's doing the work for you, but it's just supporting you in moving through things. You'd have to move through all of these things, like your shadow work and everything. You'd have to move through all of that anyways. But this helps you while you're breaking down, while you're losing your shit. But it also reveals things to you that are your blockages. So if you want to become a manifestational or vibrational match to your manifestation, this device can actually scan your physical body, which I always measure up to the manual work that I do. So I scan the physical body. If there's any physical blockages, it scans your emotional field around you. If there's emotions that you need to release. And then it also scans your belief system, like your electromagnetic spectrum, and your thoughts look like energies in the electromagnetic spectrum around you. And the denser, harder nuggets of energy, the limiting beliefs that are keeping your light wheel from being super airy and letting things in and out, those are the things that the Healy can help start to defragment, start to break apart. And that way I've just found it to be just this crazy tool that's been coupled with my meditation, with my my journaling, my affirmations and all of that. But it really has helped me laser focus in on what are my actual blockages, because a lot of them, I didn't even know that was a blockage that was holding me back. And you could do thousands of hours. I always say that if we were to do what the Healy does, even a fraction of it, we'd be meditating 24/7. Right. And we'd love that, but we do have 3D lives and yeah. So that's my spiel with the Healy. It's just been a complete game changer. There's frequencies for everything. and it all connects to you on your phone. Like it'll get you to connect to the device. You connect it to Bluetooth, you choose your program. It goes onto the Healy, and then you can click the Bluetooth off, and then you're getting the quantum scalar waves. And there's also, you know, like I scan myself every day. I scan myself every single day to see what comes up. Sometimes it'll be Chinese meridians that need unblocking. Sometimes it'll be mental well-being programs. Healy is always creating new programs as well. So you buy like your set of programs, and then they are always adding. So for example, right now I'm running the soul frequencies, self-confidence. And the soul cycle is like an add-on package that I bought later on, and that's one of my favorites. So are you talking about aura scanning?
Yes.
So there's an aura scan that scans your aura, and that'll show up in the chakras and blockages. But there's also the coaching app. So essentially there's two apps. So there's the pink app, which holds all the programs, and then there's the blue app, which has the scans in it. So the one that I have really been diving into lately is called the coaching app. So you can actually put your manifestation into the coaching app, and it will scan you and whatever vibration you're offering at this point. And then it knows from the quantum realm of bridging that gap, what do you need to break apart? What do you need to break down? What do you need to get rid of? How do you need to raise your vibration in order to be a vibrational match to your manifestation? So it will get you there.
It also identifies the blocks, which I've found quite fascinating when I've done, because you're putting in goals, right? So a lot of times we have goals, and sometimes we're not always aware of what the blocks might be to that goal. And Healy seems to pick up on it. And even when I did it in the fall, it picked up on still needing my father's approval, which I was really not impressed with Healy, because I really had done a lot of work on that and thought I'd move past it. And yet it's still picking up on, you know, that being a block for me. So I was kind of blown away.
And that's what happened to me when I got my first aura scan by Allison. Is she did my aura scan, and then as it was sending me the frequency through Zoom, she was reading the affirmations to me. And I don't even remember what they were at this exact moment, but it was like 4 or 5 in a row that were all of my main triggers. I mean, all of my main triggers I deal with on a regular basis popped up. And then the other day, I was with James, we were kind of butting heads for a minute. And I was like, this is a really good opportunity for us to do a manifestation scan. And we did a scan on the two of us, and it comes back, and it was like, I think the affirmation was, I am safe and secure inside the Father. The Father provides for me. And that is mine and James's biggest relationship bonding trauma, is we both have very distant relations with our dads. And so we kind of get that weird energy sometimes about man-on-man action, like, oh, we're going to fight each other right now. That energy shows up. And when I saw that as the first thing, I was like, Healy, shut the front door. We've already talked about this. And so, I mean, it's kind of, and my meditative practice now is when I do my aura scan, which is not every day, I do every couple of days, I'll just sit there for 12 minutes and read the affirmations out loud as they're going across the screen. It's sending the frequency into you, and I'll be reading it out loud. And if you don't know, if you try to say something that's not true about yourself, you tend to stutter through it. And the ones that are really trouble, I'm sitting there, I have a supportive father. My father believes in me. And I was like, this is not true. This is about a dad way beyond my physical dad. This is like heavenly father right now. And so it's just, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I want to know more.
And we should also say too, with the quantum sensor, is even though it's reading you, you're also able to send those recommended frequencies through the quantum. So this is something I do with my children when they're in school. This is something we can do for our loved ones that we're not close to in physicality. We can still send them healing frequencies through the quantum. It's a whole other game changer.
And I thought that was complete bullshit the first time. This is why for 6 months I was like, I'm not doing that. That's a lie. So the other day, James was at work, and I knew it was gonna be a stressful day for him. He was working alone, and around like 7 or 8 o'clock, when he normally gets rushed, I was like, I'm gonna send James these frequencies right now. We already have him in the app. And I just put it over there and leave it alone. And like 20 minutes later, he texts me, he goes, "Are you trying to heal me right now?" And I was like, "Can you feel it?" And he goes, "Yes." And I was like, that's correct. I didn't tell him I was going to do it. I just did it. But James and I are both very sensitive. I mean, they say you can only feel this thing within like a foot of you. It's lies. I can literally put this across the room and I can still feel the vibration of it. And so, I mean, it's everyone's, I guess, sensitivity level is different, but like,
yeah, no, I had mine on in my massage the other day. I had a massage and she goes, "Did you have the frequencies going?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "In your left hand?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, I felt those." And I'm like, "You did?" And she goes, "Yeah, I had it on deep relaxation." She goes, "Yeah, I was like having trouble staying awake almost." But yeah, I mean, same thing, anybody that does manual psychic work and that kind of thing, right? We do distance healing. And so we just need a picture of the person typically, and then I'll send healing frequencies to that person. And a lot of the times in live time, I'll say, you know, like something like, for example, I'll say a hummingbird is coming in for you, like as your spirit guide, and legit the person will be like, "There's a hummingbird that just flew onto my deck right now," kind of thing. So in live time, you can see how things happen through the quantum realm. When you're entertaining the quantum realm, like this technology does, you can access that quantum realm and things like that. You can send frequencies through. It's just a unified field of consciousness. That's all it is. It's just the fabric that holds all of us together.
And then Shelly asked if you can feel the vibrations. So when I first ran this on Grandma, for the first 2 or 3 days, she couldn't feel anything. Now, when you turn on the frequency, you can adjust the intensity. So it goes from like 30% where it's running up to 100%. I've actually yet to cross 75% because when I pass 75%, it feels like bass shaking me. That one night at the sleep program, I put on 100% because, as y'all know, I'm a troubled sleeper. And so, but I mean, you can feel it with the coil, which is the wireless version of it. I haven't even tried the wristbands, the electrodes yet, because I am just so moved by this that I wouldn't say I'm afraid to. It's already so powerful just being wireless that the idea of putting on my body I'm not ready for that. I would imagine in a week or two, I have like some nerve damage right here in this arm. We're going to be using those electrodes on this arm right here. And so
Lukez is very, very sensitive to energies. This is the coil. Yeah. So it's just like this little piece that pops out. Otherwise, what you can do is you can put these wristbands in. So the wristbands, you just put them on. And these wristbands are great for programs that are more for your physical body. They're just a stronger microcurrent. They have a more potent effect. The coil is a little bit more a gentler approach. I really like using the wristbands when I do the digital nutrition. And that was a huge, huge, huge thing for me with a professional edition, because I am a health nut. I love my supplements, and I would take like palms full of all my vitamins and all these pills, and they'd make fun of me at work for taking them. So, but it's hard, you know, chucking all of those back. And I don't enjoy it. I just do it because it's healthy. So the nice thing about the digital nutrition is that I'm getting all of my magnesium, selenium, copper, zinc, you know, vitamin C, vitamin Bs, all of them, things that I wouldn't normally grab off the shelf, I can be getting through frequencies. And because of the quantum scalar sensor, it knows exactly what to give me, how much, and what combination with other vitamins. So that was huge for me. I really, really love the digital nutrition part of it. That, and for me, the well-being programs really, really powerful for me too. Mental well-being, there's like inner unity. There's one that really starts to connect you with your sacred geometry, your Merkaba. Starts to get that sacred geometry flowing again, so you're feeling more connected to source energy. Anxiety and depression, those work instantaneously. I've had experiences before where I'm just about to have a panic attack and I put the anxiety one on, and it's immediately it's just brings you right back down to your norm. And I don't want to put Susan on the spot, but if she can chime in, do you have to be quiet at work? She's going to type into the chat here. Susan has an amazing story about her hand recently. She had to get hand surgery and she used her Healy, and it was just a miraculous story with her recovery. We'll come back to her.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I've got a bunch of good stories actually. One with my hand is that I had my hand redone recently. I was in a car accident 10 years ago and had to have my hand surgically fixed, and I had my trapezium bone removed. And over 10 years, it collapsed and I had to have it redone. So I do have something to measure it by. I started using my Healy right away. I stopped painkillers day 2, no painkillers at all. And my hand is now actually 6 weeks ahead of the game of healing. And I've missed out a whole step in between with this horrible splint that I was going to have. And now I'm just down to this, which is incredible because the last time took me about 6 months and some really heavy duty splints and like a year of physio, which is interesting because I actually went to my physiotherapist and she said to me, "What's that thing hanging on you?" Because I always have it. And I said, "Oh, she said, "Are you diabetic or something?" And I said, "No, I actually, it's my radio frequency microcurrent device." And she said, "Oh," she says, "Well, what is that?" And so I explained it a bit. And she goes, "Well, would it work on my sciatic?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "Right now it's not programmed on that right now, but I have to get out of this and put it." She goes, "No, I just want to put it on and see." So I said, "Okay, well, we'll see. It's not the program for that." So she stuck it on and she was building my initial splint. And she said, "Oh, it's starting to feel really warm there." And I said, yeah, it can do that." And she said, "Well, it's kind of spreading right across my back." And I said, "Well, that's good. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing." And so she just went on with, I tried not to talk about it because I wanted to come back to her later and say, "So how is it?" So she got off on her splint thing and was fixing it up for me and doing her job. And then I went to leave and I said, "Can I have my Healy?" And she went, "Oh, right." And she goes, she gets up to take it off and she went, "Oh my God." She says, "My sciatic is gone." And she looked all unbelievable, like I should be shocked. And I said, "Well, that's what it's supposed to do." And she said, "Wow, that's incredible." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's really something you should probably be using in your practice." I said, "Because it does really help." Again, it's, she's one of those people that as soon as you say the price or whatever, it's like, "Oh no, I can't do that." But, and I'm not someone that's I'm not a seller. I just am where I tell people my experience with it. Or if they ask me what it is and I tell them, they're either interested or they're not. And I think if they're at a point where they should be getting it, it'll happen for them. But my sister was just diagnosed with jaw cancer. And it's really bad. Like she has to get a piece of her jaw removed and she's in the hospital for 14 days with a tracheotomy and a feeding tube. That's going to be in the next couple of weeks or so. But she bought a Healy because she was in incredible pain in her jaw. And she wanted something to just sort of stop the damage and to help her pain. That was the first time she slept through the night with the Healy. She put the electrode behind her ear and down to her jaw, and the pain was taken away completely. Yeah. So, I mean, and I have tons of those stories just for me because I'm just a walking nightmare in the health department, but just physically. And my husband, who's a huge sort of negative Nelly and, oh no, that thing doesn't work. Don't put it on me or whatever. So he's been trying everything. He takes sleeping medication to sleep, not all the time, but probably 2 or 3 times a week for about the last 4 years. I kept saying to him, well, just try the Healy for God's sake. Just stick it on. Why wouldn't you? Like, we've got the thing here. Try it. Like, there's no reason not to try it. So he went through that. Well, because you really depend on it. And so I don't want to take it away from you. And I said, well, sleeping's not my issue. So you can take the Healy and try the sleeping. So he actually finally did. And he wore it for 3 nights in a row, slept like a baby. And that was probably about 2 weeks ago. And he still sleeps through the night. He doesn't snore anymore, which snoring was a huge issue. He doesn't snore anymore. He sleeps through the night. He hasn't had to ask me for it again. As a matter of fact, he wants me to lend it to my stepson so that he can get rid of his sleep issues. And I said, no, because I don't want to be without my Healy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just, if you experience it.
For the physical part of it.
Yeah.
But it works.
Those are incredible. Those are incredible stories, Susan. Those truly are.
It's unreal.
And those are the power of this. And it made me think about too, is I think sometimes sometimes we think this is new, that frequency healing is new. This frequency healing was around in the early 1900s. And they were using it, and there were machines everywhere. And it was actually the American Medical Association in 1938 that let them know that anyone that continued with plant medicine or frequency or homeopathy or absolutely anything, that they would lose their license. And so it just went away for a long time. So what's happening right now is it's just coming back. It's back. It's legit. It's always been here, and it's not going away.
Yeah.
Well, interesting story. My mom. Oh, go ahead. My mom is German, and I'm 62. So when I was probably in my early 20s, she came in contact with another frequency device, but it uses magnetic frequencies in Germany, and started distributing them here in Canada, and they were called Amigos. And it does the same thing, but not to the extent that Healy does. Healy's like Amigos on steroids kind of thing. And it was funny because when I was talking to her about it, she was like, God, yeah, for sure. Like, you got to do the frequency thing, because she knew how just with the magnets it worked, but yeah, it's pretty incredible. That's for sure.
And then there's just like the whole, lots of people are waking up spiritually, consciously expanding. And so to see where humanity is going in the future, I think that's what I grabbed hold of the most, was this big picture and the heart behind the Healy, and how it is meant to be part of humanity's big quantum leap. Because I do believe that now, coming into the age of Aquarius, we are on this precipice, we're on this launching pad where we can go either one way or another. And I do believe that we've chosen a great timeline for ourselves, and this is going to help people to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in all levels.
Okay.
The more people that can
Thank
have
you.
this device, as a collective, there's just like this big bowl of people that are rising up and healing themselves, and also in turn helping others. So I think that just as a massive collective big picture thing, the more people that are grabbing hold of this vision, and that everything is energy, that everything is frequency and vibration, that's really going to save us.
Thank you, Kiki and Celeste and Susan, for all your shares. I want to open the floor to any questions. And I had like one little final closing statement once we've done the questions. They've been coming kind of live in the chat. Does anyone want to ask questions live through video or type them in the chat? Silence is beautiful. Questions. Well, and while questions are coming in, one thing I don't see anyone coming off their thing. No. because you said something about like the technology upgrade, and like I was talking to someone the other day. I said, well, if you want to do this, why don't you just get some, YouTube music or do some sound healing or whatever, why don't you just do that when you're feeling a certain way? And I said, well, can you do that at the grocery store? And they were like, no. And I said, I don't want to walk on with headphones in all the time. That'd be kind of disrespectful. And it's like, we're in this modern world where there's so much we need to do that we can't really go escape to a Buddhist monk temple every night and find our Zen. And it gives the power to do that anywhere. Like that just, I mean, I know people that won't go grocery shopping. They won't go grocery shopping because they don't want to see anybody. So they order everything to their door, which is also convenient. But like it just, life changed.
And I think
no
we're bombarded with so many negative frequencies. Often, we've got EMF, we've got Wi-Fi, we have different types of everybody else's frequencies. There's a program on the Healy that actually helps with that. If you're feeling other people's energies, it puts an electromagnetic sphere, sort of a bubble around you to protect you from other people.
That's what I do at the store.
That's what.
Well, at the grocery store, because normally I'm really sensitive. So when I go into large events, the grocery store, out with my partner, whatever, I have to put on this energy bubble. I'm constantly circulating energy just to keep myself connected to my center. And it's a lot of work doing that. And the other day I was like, all right, Healy, let's test this out at the grocery store. And I think it's the clean cycle. I ran the clean cycle and walked in the grocery store, and it was like, I don't know how to describe it. Like I was in a graveyard with a bunch of people standing up, but none of them were real. It was like, I can't, it was just, I'm so excited to see where this goes. So do you keep the Healy with you all day? No, I don't. I use my gold frequency in the morning as part of the 21-day protocol. I use it again in the middle of the afternoon. I'll pick something and I use my sensitivity at night. And then those are the three things I do. But if I'm going to the grocery store on Tuesday at 1:00, damn straight, I got my Healy on me. I haven't gotten to that. I don't want to replace, like Kiki said, I don't want to replace my energy work or my Reiki or my own psychological development with Healy. I'm not looking to make this my sucker. I'm using it as a tool to help empower me. And so, I mean, I'm sure there's different variations and levels of how you can use it. I know if I had the nature cycle, I would probably be using it all day because it's designed for that. Like that's so, but I'm not there yet.
Well, and I think also I've learned the power of it. I mean, in Portugal, we had doctors on stage talking about what this is, and microcurrent is changing the cellular structure of your cells. Like this is actually science. So a lot of us are also talking about the energy because frequencies are in mental and emotional and spiritual, but but the microcurrent itself is changing the water that lives within each of our cells. And not only is it killing off the diseased and bad cells, it is then recharging and regenerating the cells into an optimal, healthy, thriving environment. And so
there's a really good video that's only 9 minutes long about Healy. I just put it in the chat, and they show an example of blood. Like they look down at this sample of blood and all the cells are shoved together and like on top of each other, and it's super combobulated. And then they run Healy frequencies on it and they do it again, and they all separate, they get space. And so, I mean, there's definite technology and of studies you can look into how the technology works. I still feel like a baby.
Yeah, there's studies, there's science, there's anything you guys need. We've got videos, but also that's why the questions, because instead of having to go through an hour video, we've already done a lot of that research, so we can just share with you what might come up. You should know that when you buy your device, that's it. Like there's no fees, there's no memberships, there's no quotas, there's no obligations, there is no nothing. This is basically what works for you and your own reason for why you would get it for yourself. So Lukez, Kiki, and I, we want to share this. I feel like this is my job, is to let people know that this is available to them, but it's really up to everybody how this works for them. And so just know that there is no pressure here, there is no obligation. And by buying your device, whatever one you feel comfortable getting, you buy a device, you do it as an independent distributor, because you might as well get your own affiliate links. I've already had 2 people that joined as customers, and then they had someone buy from them a week later and they couldn't buy from them because they signed up as a customer. So you might as well be an independent distributor. It's the same, it gets your own links. And that way, if there's anyone in your life that's also looking to get it, they might as well get it from you. And that's really it. It's just buying your own device. And then there's a community that you tap into. We have weekly coaching calls. We've got webinars. We've got community of people that are like crossline in other countries, that are like sharing their gifts and human design and how this works with motherhood or nutrition or fitness or whatever it is. And we have access to all of it just because that is the type of people that love joining this community. And we're doing it differently, and we're doing it with heart, and we're doing it with integrity. And so you saying yes and saying yes to Lukez just means that we're all here to support you in whatever it is you might want to be able to do also with it.
I think that's legit. One of the coolest parts about it is the community, because we've got scientists that are working with it. We've got doctors that are working with it, human designs, psychic intuitives. We have people that have, because it's a very intuitive device as well. So there are people that have downloaded protocols to heal the gut, for example, so Crohn's disease or IBS or something like that. There's just all of these people that are each using it for their own reason, and then they bring that to the table and share that knowledge with everybody for free. So
that the WhatsApp chat is even like when I first got it, I was in there 2 weeks before I got my device, and I was just following just everything that was happening, and people were popping in, hey, this is happening, what do you do? And people were responding live and sharing stuff, and I was very surprised as to how much information was coming through on a daily basis just for the WhatsApp chat. But
yeah.
Can you explain, like when you said, I think it was Luke, you said in the morning you sat and you let it not scan, I don't remember what word you said, so that you kind of know what's maybe out of kilter? Like, how does that actually look in the morning when you do that?
So I open my Healy Advisor app, and when you get on here, it'll have continue. It'll have the aura analysis is the one I usually go to. And when you click on it, it'll download, it updates to the cloud, and then it'll ask you, who are you using? And so I have 5 different people programmed in here. It's me, James, my cats, which by the way, so random side story. The first time I went to use this on my cat, I literally was laying on the bed, getting the app ready to scan Yuri because he's acting like a freaking maniac. He walks over, looks at me, and puts his paw on my phone to activate the reading. I mean, it was so strange, but anyway, but you pick your person, which is me. You go to record aura, it'll connect to your device, then you can select which chakras you want to do, and I do all of mine, and it'll scan you. It's really quick, like not even 30 seconds long, and then it'll say, this is your protocol, what do you want to do? Do you want to vibrate and send frequencies, or do you want to just read the PDF? And you click vibrate, and it'll give you options. Like there's like 15 options from like 1 minute to 8 hours, or you can do a custom one, and it'll sit there and send it to you. And then across your, gotta turn the device on. And across your screen, it'll tell you which chakra, how it's out of balance, what the affirmations are. And there's something else in there that I don't always read every single time. What's the second paragraph? There's another paragraph. But yeah, you just turn on your phone, click your profile, scan, and it starts.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
So that's the aura scan that he does. I do the resonance scan every morning. So you just open that same blue app, choose the resonance scan, and then you can choose all Healy programs. If I knew which category that I wanted to do, like let's say I wanted to just go Chinese meridians or chakras, then I would choose chakras, and then it would tell me, okay, root chakra or heart chakra. But if just out of all the programs, I'm just curious, like which category today, then I do all programs. It will scan me, and then it will tell me which category. So then it'll tell me like, okay, bioenergetic or whatever, maybe your skin programs. So then I'll go into the skin programs, and then it'll tell me specifically which skin program. So it narrows it down into which category, and then which specific program, and then you just run that program.
It's really easy to use.
There's too many programs that you need. It's going to blow up the system.
Well, and I think like like Kiki and Celeste I've kind of led on to, it's funny how sometimes you can tell something's coming in, like there's almost like this little intuitive nudge of like, I'm feeling a little congested today, and it'll pop up and tell you, yeah, you're dealing with a throat chakra blockage right now, take this frequency. It's one of those things where if you guys want to try a session with me through Zoom to practice with this, like, please reach out to me. Like it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Can it help to any drug addict to get survived? I've seen a few things about alcoholism with it. No one has specifically said drugs. However, as a small side note to my story, I was highly addicted to prescription drugs and recreational drugs up until I was like 27. And when I found Reiki, which is energy work, frequency healing, that got me off of all my addictions, except for alcohol. Alcohol and I are still friends. But I mean, like energy work in general, yes, most people do drugs because there's something energetically not in alignment with them, especially with the mental and emotional body.
So as your vibration rises with this device, directly or indirectly, then you will become less and less of a vibrational match to drugs, alcohol, any like lower vibratory things. For me specifically, specifically for addiction, there is a program called Contentment. And there's contentment acute and contentment systemic. So contentment, if you read the description of it, is for people that are feeling like they're jonesing for something. They need to feel content. So if you're jonesing for something and you would do content acute in that situation, you really, really need to feel content right now without grabbing for the booze or whatever. That's what that specific program is designed for. It actually says in the description that it's meant for addicts or people with addictive behaviors. For me personally, going with that, raising your vibration in general and overturning every single cell. I've definitely noticed a switch in my diet, and I just don't tolerate alcohol that well anymore. And even like the people that I have had to outgrow sometimes, right? Like as your vibration rises, you're just not a vibrational match to all the things that you once were, and that's good. That means that you're growing.
Okay, I kind of do have a question. When you mentioned Kiki,
you've
frozen, Susan.
Susan, you froze.
Just about beat their dog. The difference between systemic and acute.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Susan, you keep freezing.
Am I there yet?
No, we'll have to get Kiki to maybe answer that question later.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say to everybody, like whatever questions come up, come back to Lukez. If he doesn't know, he'll come to Kiki and I. Whatever you've got at this point, this is you just asking yourself, what part of your life are you looking for support in? What is it that you've maybe been struggling to get done with on your own that maybe something else could help? I know for me, my path has, yes, could I get a certain place without Healy? Yes, but can it happen a lot quicker with Healy? Yes, and it has. And even for me, I've been able to leave my 9-to-5. I know where this opportunity is going, and I also am having the opportunity of location freedom, and I'm planning to leave Canada. so there's a lot on the table that has changed for me, and it all comes from this hope and this vision that I know that I'm part of a community that's making a difference right now, and knowing where we're going with that. So please, like right now, there's 35% off all the top 3 devices. There's 5 devices you get. They all look the same. We all have the same one. What you're paying for is basically the difference in programs. So how many programs you get. Like, so if you wanted the scanning component, the scan comes in the middle device, but then it's the coaching and the aura that come in the top 2. So it just really depends what you're most comfortable with, what it is you're looking for. And yeah, like Lukez, I would say just send out the replay, make sure that if there's any other videos that anyone wants to check in on or any questions that you have, we are just here to support and welcome everybody to this growing, incredible team. Freaking kick-ass people.
5D reality.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone so much.
Yes,
if you
thank
want
you
to
for
say
being
further
here.
questions, we're gonna end the call. We good? I can't see anyone's face except for Lee. Lee, you've been very present this whole time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Lee.
Shelly. Thank you.
Thanks for letting
All
me
right, well,
listen.
yes,
Thank you
everyone
for
have a
being
great
here.
day.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.